Hi, it's Robbin McManne. I'm a parenting expert, and I am an expert in helping you parent your difficult child. And when I say difficult child, there is a range of difficulties that we have, but I'm talking about kids that are defiant, have big emotions, have big reactions to being uncomfortable or things not going their way. Maybe they have intense behavior. Maybe they have extra needs, and maybe they come with a diagnosis of ADHD or having sensory processing disorder, or maybe they're oppositionally defiant. Either way, to be honest, I don't really care if there is a diagnosis or not, because what I know is what to do to get them to cooperate with you, but also help you grow in your connection with them so that you enjoy parenting them. These kids can bring us to our knees and can really make us struggle and question if we're even cut out to be a parent. I know that that was the case for me. I really struggled when I first became a mom. And so I've been where you are, as you probably are watching this video, and I can show you a new and different way to show up for your kids. And I've been parenting my difficult child for 17 years. So I have been through lots of different situations. And so this video is about really giving you some new insight and some new tools. So I'm going to give you 5 things that you need to know about your difficult child. First, I want to talk to you about their behavior. Now, kids who are in turmoil provoke turmoil. And so know that the behavior that you're seeing that you don't like is really just communication. And it's letting you know usually one of 3 different things. There's a need that isn't getting met, there is a feeling that's unvalidated, or they don't have a skill to do better yet. So knowing that, it allows you to just say, okay, hang on, let me find out what's driving the behavior. I use my hands to talk a lot if you can't already tell. And the behavior I always look at being on the surface, right? That's what we are usually reacting to, but it's what's below the surface that matters. So I actually want you to take the behavior as secondary and get to what's underneath first. And we do that with curiosity. We do that by saying, whoa, like what's going on? So I'm going to give you some more ways to uncover the truth to what's really going on. And remember, it's either a need that isn't getting met, a feeling that's unvalidated, or they don't have a skill to do better yet. So when I talk about skills, well, our kids are growing and evolving and changing every single day. And we really need to understand the brain and the way the brain works in order to really understand what's going on with our kids. So I like to use the hand brain model from Dr. Dan Siegel to illustrate what's going on in our brains. So he breaks it down into 3 core areas. First is the lower brain, which is the brainstem and the cerebellum. Inside here is the amygdala. This is the emotional brain. And then at the top is our higher brain, which is the prefrontal cortex. So babies are born here, which is all survival. This is breathing, circulation, hunger. It's also fight, flight, and freeze. Inside here is the amygdala, like I said, and it's emotion. So kids live here until they're around 7 years of age. And that means that they see the world through emotion, they interact with the world through emotion, but because they don't have the prefrontal cortex, they don't know how to deal with it, they don't know how to articulate it, and they don't understand their emotions. So, since they don't have the ability to think through it, to use their words, if you will, it comes out as a meltdown. It's really a pressure valve. That's what a meltdown is. It comes out as behavior we don't like because they don't know any better. When the prefrontal cortex starts to come online around the age of 7, this doesn't finish growing until mid-20s, which means your child has a lot of time to go, a lot of time to grow and evolve. And you don't need to worry about what they're going to be like when they're grown up and all of that stuff. You just need to deal in this moment. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for reasoning, rational thought, problem solving, the ability to forecast consequences, to have emotional regulation, executive functioning. It's really critical thinking. It's all of the best parts of us, right? Empathy and compassion are in that part of the brain as well. And it actually works to regulate the emotional brain. But here's the thing, we can lose our regulation with our higher brain, and we can parent from here, we can parent from here, and we can parent from here. Just like our kids can operate from here, here, or here, but they don't fully have access to this part of the brain until they're adults. So doesn't that help you to know that, okay, we're not dealing with rational adults necessarily. We don't have kids that have fully grown brains. And I find that we often expect things of our kids that really come with adulthood. Our kids can't act like adults because they aren't adults, because they don't have the experience behind them, and they also don't have that fully grown brain. So we've got to give them a bit of a break. And instead of punishing them, we need to teach them. We need to guide them. And that's really important. So, first, behavior is communication. Second is understanding the way the brain works. Next is when your child has big emotions, big behavior, it is never personal. It's never about you, even if they say things about you, even if they say they hate you. It's actually not about you. And I want you to picture this. I want you to picture your child in their own bubble where they're in the middle, and swarming around them are all of their feelings and needs, perceptions, their inexperience, their perspective on the world. All of that is here, and they go to try to get a need met, have a feeling validated, or have a skill or don't have a skill to do what they want to do and accomplish. And they go to communicate with us, and we take it the wrong way. We take it personally because we're in our own bubble of feelings and needs ourselves. And maybe we're tired. Maybe we're feeling unheard. Maybe we're feeling like, oh, here we go again. And that just takes us out of really understanding what's going on with our child. So it's not personal. Think about it this way, right? They're just coming from their own feelings and needs. And think about too, when you feel triggered, it's really about the way you're feeling, right? You can say, well, you made me feel that way, but those are still your feelings, right? The other person is only ever just being themselves, and they're operating from their feelings. You're operating from yours. And that's really the simplest way I can say it, that it's just not personal. Nothing is actually ever personal, not interactions with your spouse, your friends, your family member. Everybody's always reacting and acting based on their own feelings and needs. So know that it's not personal. Now, oftentimes our kids will have behavior that we don't like, right? And I said, okay, we want to take it and put it aside. Now, I have had my child say horrible things to me at times, and it doesn't make it okay. We're not growing kids that are entitled or rude or don't have any discipline, if you will. We're just recognizing that our child is provoking turmoil because they're in turmoil, and they do not have the brain to work it out. So they need our help. So what we really want to do is see them as needing help. And the best way that we can do that is to accept what is happening. I have been through meltdowns with my son that have lasted over an hour to 2 hours and even longer. You may have faced that too. And that is exhausting. It is exhausting for you, and it's exhausting for them. And one of the things that happens is that we fight against it, and that actually prolongs it. So when you accept what is happening, you say, yes, you are upset right now, and you need to cry right now. And that's okay. That actually completely dissolves the need for your child to react even harder, to convince you of how upset they are. It releases the need for all of that. And instead, your acceptance will help them to calm down more. It doesn't mean you agree with why they're upset. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that I can accept you just as you are right now and don't feel the need to change you. And when you can accept your child, it means that you're also not talking as much. You aren't trying to say, use your words or just cut it out, or I can't believe you're saying that to me, and I can't believe you won't do this, and you just wait. I am going to take this away from you. I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. None of that helps. All it does is adds fuel to the fire. And we want to end this turmoil, this meltdown, this explosive behavior, big emotion, whatever it is. We want to end it sooner, because Your child isn't trying to manipulate you. They are just having emotions that are out of control and they need our help. And so, one of the ways that you can calm them is twofold. One is you can calm yourself down. So, remind yourself that it's not personal. And our kids co regulate off of us. So, if you can breathe slowly and deeply, your child will start to match your breathing and that will calm them down. You can also help give them a big squeezy hug, which actually uses their sensory system and that pressure calms them down. You can use their proprioceptive sense, which is here in the mouth, and you can get them to chew on something crunchy. You can get them to chew on something chewy or suck something through a straw, give them a juice box. That's actually how you organize your brain. A lot of people will chew on a pencil or bite their nails. They're doing it because they're trying to organize their brain, organize their thoughts. So these are 5 different ways that you can show up differently for your child. So when it comes to your child, know that behavior is communication, that the brain is still growing and developing, and they don't have access to that rational thought and the ability to regulate their own emotions. It's never personal. You can accept them just as they are and accept that, yes, they are upset right now, and fighting against it will only make it last longer. And for you to help calm them down by you being calm and also doing some calming things for them as well.